Fauci has lied under oath. Does that mean anything anymore? See, this is what we debated back in the 90s with Bill Clinton. You're under oath. When you're under oath, does it mean anything? Apparently, no. Well, it depends on the definition of is, what the definition of is. Okay, all right. So we can play word games. Okay. I thought we were looking for the truth. No, we're looking to play word games. And boy, the left is great at playing word games. Now, I'm not sure the word game that is to be played to get Fauci out from underneath his lie in congressional testimony. And it happened more than once. In fact, Rand Paul said to him at one point, do you want to reconsider any of your testimony? You don't know what you're talking about. I'm a scientist, man. Oh, yeah, and Rand Paul's just a dummy. He's an eye doctor. You don't have to really go and get a degree or do any scientific stuff with eyes. I mean, they're right there in your face. You know, is there a nail in your eye? Oh, who needs a doctor? Pull it out. You're not really a doctor. So he tries to make him feel like he is just a worm that just doesn't understand. Well, I'm a self-educated man, and I think I understand what gain of function research is. But Rand Paul doesn't. No. And I'm guessing neither do all of the now scientists that are coming out and going, whoopsie. Yesterday, on what is this? The website,
The Intercept.
Yeah, the Intercept.
Mm-hmm.
The Intercept was started by Glenn Greenwald. Okay, and it's the organization that he left because they were starting to censor people and starting to say, no, you can't have that opinion here, which is the exact opposite of what they were started for. Well, they went after Rand Paul, and they were trying to defend Fauci. So they put out a Freedom of Information Act to show Fauci isn't lying and to get Rand Paul. Well, unfortunately, it turned out differently. And they at least have the credibility or at least have the honesty to then not hide these documents, but instead to go, wow, look at this. Looks like Fauci was lying here. Give me the highlights.
They got 900 pages of documents, The Intercept, detailing the work of the EcoHealth Alliance. We've talked a lot about them over the years.
There's a lot more coming.
Yeah, U.S.-based health organization that used federal money to fund bat coronavirus research at the Chinese laboratory. One of the grants, titled Understanding the Risk of Bat Coronavirus Emergence. It's it really, every time I start reading these things, I think to the Jon Stewart interview he did where he's like, it's named
right.
the Wuhan Institute of Virology. Like, it is one of those things.
Right.
But it outlined an ambitious effort led by EcoHealth Alliance President Peter Daszak.
Who is a good friend of Fauci.
Yeah.
There's more to follow on this. We're going to be doing a show on this maybe in the next couple of weeks. You need to understand Fauci is Eco Alliance. I mean, there is a very strong bond here. Anyway.
So the idea was to screen thousands of bat samples for novel coronaviruses. The research involved in screening people who work with live animals. The documents contain several critical details about the research in Wuhan, including the fact that key experimental work with humanized mice, which we've talked about as well, conducted at a biosafety level 3 lab, not a level 4 lab, at the Wuhan the Wuhan University Center for Animal Experiment, not the Wuhan Institute of Virology, which is an interesting detail, though doesn't necessarily change much. The bat coronavirus grant provided EcoHealth Alliance with a total of $3.1 million, including $599,000 that the Wuhan Institute of Virology used in part to identify and alter bat coronaviruses likely to infect humans. Alina Chan.
I'm sorry, what was that word, that A word that was in there?
Alter?
Alter. Alter.
Yes.
Gain of function. Alter.
Yes.
Okay. Alter to see what?
To see if bat coronaviruses could be likely to infect humans.
That seems like the very definition of gain of function.
The grant proposal itself acknowledges some dangers associated with experiments. Field work involves the highest risk of exposure to SARS or other coronaviruses, while working in caves with high bat density overhead and the potential for fecal dust to be inhaled, which is a... They don't put that on the advertisement for the job.
No.
That's later. They tell you about that. Alina Chan, a molecular biologist at the Broad Institute, said the documents show that EcoHealth Alliance has reason to take the lab leak theory seriously. In this proposal, they actually point out that they know how risky the work is. They keep talking about people being bitten, and they kept records of everyone who got bitten. Does EcoHealth have those records? And if not, how can they possibly rule out a research-related accident? It goes on in some detail, but this is the basic outline of this. And this is similar to the gain of function thing that Fauci is trying to use to get out of defrauding all of his testimony, is basically to say, well, I made up the rules as to what gain of function is. It's like if your doctor says, hey, you need to eat healthy, and you say, I will eat healthy, I will make a set of rules that decides what food is healthy. Like, for example, peanut butter cookies are healthy. They have peanut butter in them, right? So he's just totally stretching the definition because he was able to design the definition. So he can say, of course it wasn't gain of function research. And by this definition, surely that's true because he designed the definition.
So in other words, it's almost as if it depends on what the definition of is.
Yes, I would say
exactly
that's
right. Now, we as Americans have to decide, do we all know what the definition of is? Do we all understand the basic concept of, hey, I'm going to take a bunch of coronaviruses from bats, I'm going to squeeze some bat juice out of them, and I'm going to mix them up in this paint shaker, and then we're going to inject them in some mice. We put some, like, humanized lungs in to see if they get sick, and if they go, we'll try really hard not to get it. That's what happened. You can dress it up any way you want. You can say, that's ridiculous. They didn't use a paint shaker. Might as well have. Might as well have. Why not? I mean, they were using a lab that was not equipped for this. They were using a lab that wasn't right for this. We paid for it. Now, Fauci lied and people died. That should be everywhere. And here's why. First of all, the American people would have been very, very forgiving if the government would have come out at times, right at the beginning, and said, hey, guys, the mask thing, we just need you to not wear masks. We need you to bring masks to the hospital. Because I know people, I did, and I know other people that brought masks. I had lots of N95 masks because I'm a prepper. I brought them to the hospital.
I mean, famously, Mike Lindell refashioned his entire factory to make masks and this type of equipment for people.
So we would have done that, but they don't trust the American people. They don't trust you, so they treat you like you're an imbecile or a baby. If they would have said, crap, we were working on some stuff, and we warned about all of this and everything else, but look, I think we may have been involved. If they would have said that, it would have been bad, but it wouldn't be as bad as it's going to be now. They have destroyed science. They have destroyed credibility. They have made it all about who's the scientist. Pick your scientist. Pick the winner. They have politicized the entire process. Fauci should have paid for that with his job. Now I think he should pay for it with jail time. What did he know that he covered up that could have helped save people faster? Are there things that he knew and still knows that he hasn't shared that could help? This isn't just China. This is Fauci. This is our corrupt elements in the government. Who's involved? Now I have to question drug makers because I don't know what they knew, what they didn't know. I don't know what the government knew, what Fauci told them, what he didn't tell them. Why is it that ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine is off limits? Why? Those are trusted drugs. They're cheap. They're drugs that we already have in the system that help the symptoms and help reduce the pain and suffering of COVID. But you're not allowed to talk about that. Why? Why have they been dismissed? Why is Fauci the ringleader of that? Why is Cuba shutting down the internet? Because Cuba knows they're lying. Why is social media being shut down? Well, because the government is asking them to. Because everybody here knows our government is lying. Joe Rogan said yesterday, what am I going to have to do? Sue CNN to get them stop spreading these lies about me and COVID? Oh, Joe, I will help you fund that lawsuit. Do it, man. Do it.